Let's get started. Welcome everyone. I hope everyone's going well tonight. Yeah, let's continue on. I want to do a couple of things today. So I want to finish off the downloads. I realize I didn't add in the breadcrumbs at all. It won't take too long. What we're going to do is we're going to essentially just hardcode the breadcrumbs in. We're not going to do anything special with that. Once again, this is just a visual representation of how we want things to look. Another thing which we probably want to do is there's something about this I just want to change slightly. I kind of want to add in a little border here and kind of make this section sort of knowing that this is where the files are going to go. So yeah, we might as well jump in straight into it. I'm also rethinking this design, whether or not I actually just have it something that takes over the whole page. So it's something like this, but not sure yet. So yeah, we can play around with it very quickly. I'm just going to close all tabs at the moment. I'm just clearing everything out, starting afresh, new stream, and so forth like that. Let's open up the components. We want the components. This will be part of, this is part of the prefab. This is the part of the project page. This will be part of the document, and this will be part of the document list and render. So this is the document list and render. Now we haven't put in breadcrumbs at the moment. So we've got the document list and render. I'm just going to have a look at the document component. So in here, we've got the card header. We've got the create filter, which will belong up here. I think, yeah, we wanted to add in the breadcrumbs underneath, so we'll go breadcrumbs like this. We'll just do something like that. We'll key those in right now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do something like that. We're not going to border bottom. I'm going to pick dashed. Border muted. Border bottom width. We're just going to go border width. Like so. I think that's what we kind of want at the moment. We're going to add in a little bit of height and so forth like that. With breadcrumbs through just margin. So margin, we're going to deal with I'm going to go 1.5 rem, 0 on both sides. We're just going to leave it like that at the moment. That sort of gives us something like that. Now, that being said, I might change that to padding. We got something like that, and then what I want, let's go 0.75 rem at the bottom. I think that looks good. That's just tweaking with everything. Yeah, okay, I think it looks good. Then what I want to do is I want to go font weight, and this is going to be lighter, which I think, yeah, I think this doesn't work 100%. I think we just got to do 100. I'm just double checking the computers. We're just going to check the font family. Font weight 100. I don't think I have font family set for this. That's perfectly fine. What horrible suggestions. So I'm just double checking everything. Font family. Yeah, all right. Yep, that's a bit better. There we go. And we're going to change the colors. So the idea being is, we'll actually have a give me 2 seconds. So we've got buttons, but on the buttons we've got a link on here. Yeah. We kind of want to do something like that. Give me a couple of seconds. I'm just playing around with something very, very quickly. We do the ellipsis, and then we just go another button, and then we go something like design documentation. Actually, no, it won't be like that. Design documentation. Final draft. All right. So if we go back into what we've got now, we've got sort of something like this, which could potentially work. I'm just going to check something very, very quickly. CSS. Ellipsis, text overflow in the middle. So kind of like the Mac style. So if you ever notice, Mac puts the ellipsis in the middle. So if you've got a very, very long file name or something like that, it puts it in the middle. We kind of want to do the same thing here. Read the original. Here's an example of the function. Adjust the values, making them dynamics. All right. Yeah, I was hoping to do it with CSS. Okay, just split it up. I mean, that could potentially work. So I'm just having a good good think? So let's say we've got a really long string. We can always split it up, and then we can say the ellipsis is here, and then we say it cuts off here for the second block. That way we've got some data in here, and then we've got some data in there. But if I were to do this, because we've got the slashes, I would want to take out that whole entire section between the slashes. Yeah. I mean, it's possible to do. Because we know what the text size is going to be. We can easily calculate this and easily do something like that. So it'll work. It's just time consuming for what we want. We still want the last folder to show, no matter what. And then it's just getting the CSS to sort of work in there. All right. And we still want the document root also. So if we bump down to, let's say, mobile mode. It means I would need to shorten that. And that would work. And then, all right, let's just do that. Let's just go document in there. All right, cool. And then, yeah, we would have the ellipsis. In this sort of case, this example is quite good because we've got something that's quite long, and we kind of want to remove what's there. Yeah, all right. Let's simplify this at the moment. Let's ignore buttons. Let's just get rid of buttons. Let's do span. This will be root, and we'll have it something like that, and then we'll have span, and then we'll have folder one. Actually, let's just call this as in like designs, and then let's go span, and then let's say this is project design, and then let's go span, final design specs. Socks, and that span. All right, so we'll have something like that. I keep forgetting I need to key these in like this. Socks, your head is in the way. So we'll probably need just a little bit more project design, wireframe, we'll need that, and then we'll have final draft of wireframe design, like so, and there we go. It goes over the bounds. So in this sort of case, what I could potentially do is I'm going to split this up. I don't think we can have spans within spans, but that's perfectly fine. Because I need this to be an ellipsis if it doesn't fit. And the thing is, I don't know how long these spans are for. Actually, I've got a better idea. All right. What I'm going to do, class equals root span. Class equals middle span. And class equals end span. Alright, so we're happy with that. Breadcrumbs themselves. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move this, actually I'm going to move this to the bottom. Oh, I can't. Alright, not a problem. I'm going to move this to the right. Oh, sorry, to the left. I will... Don't know how to get that to... Perfect. All right, cool. So what we're doing is we're having a look at the breadcrumbs. We're just going to set some rules down here. So what we need is display. Let's go display flex. Flex direction is going to be a row. Overflow. It's going to be clip. Give me 1 second. Alright, grid, template, columns. I'm going to go 1FR, min, max, 0 to 1FR, and then 1FR. Alright, then down, what we're going to do is we're just going to do something like this. We're going to name that root span. We're going to name that middle span. And we're going to name that end span. All right. And then down here, what we want to do, we want to go grad dot root span, and that will be grid column is going to be the root span. Yep, easy done. Move on to this dot middle span. That's just going to be grid middle span, sweet, and then end span. It's going to be end span. All right. So that lines up with this now. If I'm just going to refresh to clear all of what I've done. So we've now got this now. We don't want this to be exactly like this. What we actually do want to do is we want to go min max is to 0 to 1 FR. And don't want that taking up all of that. That's fine for the moment. I now know this won't work as well as I want it to, but it does give me the option to, on here, suddenly go overflow, hidden, text wrap, no wrap, white space. Sorry, white space is no wrap. Oh, give me 2 seconds. I did this the other day. CSS. Text overflow. That's what I'm after. Alright, cool. So we do get the dots there. Alright. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to delete those just for the minute. In the middle span, what we're going to do is we're going to go overflow hidden, text overflow, ellipsis, white space is no wrap. And what that will give us is something like that for the moment. But what I want to do, now I'm just going to refresh just to make sure I don't have anything saved, is we've got this in here. What I'm going to do is I am going to click on this. I'm going to go display flex. All right, easy done. As you can see, it's already sort of collapsing that. But our final draft of web frame design is still wrapping around, which is not what we want. Not on mobile. Yeah, all right. And I'm just wondering, if I can go down here, I can go text overflow. No, it won't be text overflow. It'll be white space, no wrap on there. It's looking a lot better. And then as we increase that, all right. And then when it gets too small, it's fine. So if we go to an iPhone 6, if it goes too small, that's perfectly fine. So I like that. That's what I kind of want. Okay, we want the no wrap. So what we want is display flex. Flex direction is going to be a simple row. We've got it set up like this. Now up here, what we want to do is we want to get rid of the last / and add it there. And the reason being is so we've got something like this. So there's our current folder that we're on. There's one of the folders that it is on, but we won't be able to go to the upper one. Because what could happen is you could have multiple folders. Let's say there's 6 deep and it cuts off 4 of them, so the end 4. I'm wondering if we could put the ellipsis at the start. I wonder if there's a text underflow. No, all right. All right, let's see if that's possible. As per this document, it's possible now. Ooh, direction is right to left. Okay. Let's have a look. Perfect. So yeah, the idea being is if you're in this folder, then you can click the folder above it and so forth like that, so you don't have to navigate all the way back down to the start and then work your way back up. I kind of like that sort of design. Alright, so the next thing I've got to do is I've got to split these up into their own sort of little micro components. Now, the root span, that's perfectly fine. We'll get rid of that. The end span, that's needed. However, I'm going to probably turn these into buttons. And the reason being is, once again, it's kind of like what we've got here, but with a link. And the idea being is it'll have a type button. So when screen readers read it, they're like, button, and they can click on it. So straight off the bat, let's go button. Let's just change this to root button. And we'll do all the fun stuff in a little bit. Then we've still got the scan in here. The span, sorry, not the scan. Middle span, and then we've got a button, and we'll have that as end button or destination button, current destination button. Does it need to be a button though? I'm guessing not. So I'm keeping it as end span. Because yeah, when we go in here, we don't want to click on that. That's just saying where we are. And then we can click on these ones to get to them. All right, so what we want to do is in here, I'm just going to go button class equals navigation button. In fact, I'm going to get rid of root button. I'm just going to call that navigation button. Also, designs, and then we'll have a / at the end of it to be like, all right, cool, this is doing its thing. We'll just redo this right now. Project design, easy done. And then we'll have wireframe, easy done. However, the last one doesn't need it, so we'll do something like that. All right. That way it's all like that. And then when someone expands it, it's actually gets rid of the button, but sorry, that was meant to be left. Oh, it's probably not going to work. Yeah, I don't want that gap. If I get rid of the direction, we still have a gap there. Because it's still, something's still there, it's just cutting it off. Okay. leaving spaces, so all right, inline block. All right, you go. All right, I'm just going to do that very, very quickly. So if we go down here and we just go navigation button, display inline block. I'm just going to hit refresh. Not quite. But I don't think this actually has it in here. Yeah, that might not work with how I want it. Not a problem. We'll fix this up. So we want to make it an inline block. We're just going to refresh. Oh. Yeah, I want to collapse that when that's... Alright, they're all inline blocks, and then... Yeah, it's not doing it either. Damn it. All right. I just want to see one thing. So we've got all of that. I'm just going to cut that. I'm going to paste it in. We're just going to format it so it looks nice. I don't think this will work. Yeah, it just doesn't work. It doesn't make things disappear how we want it to. It works with plain text because each of them is separated, but when we add in buttons, they disappear each button. We don't want any of that. Yeah, we've got all of that. If you want to try to click the text and then text overflow ellipsis at the ellipsis. Very, all right, cool. All right. And I don't think this will work with stuff like spans. Worth a try. Oh, it's designs that. No. Doesn't work. Okay. truncate battery, button text as screen width gets shorter. Oh, sorry. I'm just going to get rid of most of what I've done. Middle span, that's perfectly fine. Let's move that back to button. I've just realized that in the middle span, because we're going right to left, things, I'm just gonna get rid of that. Yeah, it does it for the last one. Like, it just cuts it down like that. And this is going to be a problem if this is anything else. So if we go into here and we go a ref equals nothing at the moment, and then we have, I should have just done it like this. Something like that. So we've just got stuff like that. So, okay. I think that's it. I think we just use A tags. I'm going to be happy with that. Alright, so we've got something like that. Once again, we want to go, we kind of want to do right to left in this sort of case. We want to get rid of most of those gaps. So, this would be text overflow, ellipsis at start of string. So someone did say that we could go that. But the one problem is I don't want this then grabbing design first. I want it to go design, project design, and so forth like that. So in here we've got design, project design, wireframe. That's the way it's meant to be. And if we go, so I keep forgetting what it is, to do. Direction. Right to left. Yeah, now, all right. So we've still got designs, projects, and wireframe in there. Perfect. All right. That's what we want. The next thing I've got to do so I'm going to get rid of the forward slashes. I'm going to see if I can do that with CSS instead. So what I want to do is we've got the navigation buttons. Oh, that's going to be the, I'm just going to go root button here, just to keep it away from these particular ones, and that's perfectly fine. So under here, dot root button, we'll have the and then after, and then we'll have content will be a forward slash like that. Perfect. I think that forward slash is still a link. We also need to have these do nothing. That's all, just for the moment. We'll tackle these in a little bit. We also need to do that down here. So we need to go no, it'll be and dot after content will equal the forward slash, oops, like so. However, we need, for the middle span, for the last child, and after content, I'm just going to go last child. I'm just making it out as a sort of joke. I just realized that, yeah, the middle span, sorry, I was meant to actually put this all under navigation buttons. So that's why that's not working. So down here, what we want to do, navigation buttons, we actually need to state that everything's under navigation buttons. We're just going to delete that last one. We are just going to go like that and hope for the best. There we go. And to test, perfect. So last content won't actually have a forward slash because then the forward slash will be dealt with on the first one. And then these become all up in heaven. See you later tonight. And then when we crush this down, it does all of that until we've got nothing there. Okay, I like that. I think that works really well. We're going to style it a little bit better. What we're going to do is, under this, we're going to have, oh wait, these are the A things. So this will be text decoration color, and we're going to call it, we're going to have a look at the hyperlinks. Actually, we're going to have a look at the colors that we're set up. So that will be part of the styles. That will be part of the general variables. So we've got all of this. We've got secondary and stuff like that. We've got Kanban board background. We've got requirement text, requirement background. I think we set all of those to differentiate all the different objects and so forth like that. However, we'll probably not go with it. But that's perfectly fine. What we could do So we've got customer text. No, not making Git 2. How are you? Hopefully you're going well. I'm terribly sorry, I'm bad with really new names. Perno Barakar. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully you're going well. I'm just going to put this just up here. We're going to call this the document links, because I like that color. And we are going over to the breadcrumbs. We're just going to get rid of this and go document links. I'm just double checking everything. So we're just doing something like that. I'm just going to go. Well, that sort of works. There we go, document links. That should all do that color. I keep forgetting what happens when you... Oh, yeah. We'll need to actually put these up in here too, like that. There we go. All right, cool. Okay. Cheers, thank you. Has been a while. So yeah, I can't believe nearly 500th stream. So getting there. Getting there. We're doing massive refactor. So we're doing a lot of improvements. One of the big refactors is actually redesigning the UI and UX. Okay, so I'm gonna say that's looking nice. Now the one problem is this isn't collapsing, the final draft. I think I'm going to put a max width on that. So max width on the final draft, we're just going to calculate that to be, well, we don't need to calculate it. I think 50% of the page is good enough. So then we need overflow is going to be hidden, and the text overflow is going to be an ellipsis. Like so. And then it's going to be like that. So when it comes in, it's going to sort of collapse like that. I was hoping it would collapse slower, but I don't mind that. Only a game dev, never studied pure coding. How's it different from source control software like Git? This isn't Git. This is a project management system. So the idea is you gather your requirements, break them down into requirement items, and then from there create tasks and projects to sort of track how you're going. So yeah. And we're just doing the project. We're just doing the documentation at the moment. This is what you're looking at is a vertical slice. We're just throwing together a mock-up for how we want NearBeach to look like after the massive refactor we're going to be doing. So yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and someone's chatting on. And Theodore and G Bowen. Sorry, I didn't have Twitch chat open. I just saw your chat. Welcome, welcome. Terribly sorry to keep you hanging. I've been focused. So yeah. Oops, I opened up the wrong screen. All right. Now, the next thing I want to sort of do is have a look at the folder stuff here. I'm not happy with it. I gave it a bit of a thought, and I was like, it's going to be hard for people to sort of delete folders and so forth like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to redesign this. It shouldn't take, famous last words, shouldn't take too long. So we're going to go into the folder list. I'm going to open up this. Here we are. So we've just got it. So we've got an icon. We've got this. We've got it all set up like that. And instead, what I want to do is I want an icon here. Then what I want is, yeah, kind of like Notion. So yeah, you'll have Kanban boards in NearBeach too, and so forth like that. So yeah, slowly. At the moment, it's designed terribly because I can't design. Hence, we're redoing this. I'll get feedback from people, and they'll be like, yay or nay, and then I'll implement it. All right, so up here we're going to have the file name itself, info, when it was downloaded, and sorry, when it was uploaded, not downloaded, and who by. And then on the very right there will be the ability to delete. So yeah, let's do that very, very quickly. I think we can do this in using grid. So we'll still have, we probably won't need the folder icon. Yeah. Oh, fair enough, yeah. Yeah, so there's no functionality on it. Like if I click on design specs or anything like that, it doesn't work. If I click on any of these links, they don't work. If I click on create, all it does is just do something like that. But all of that was just plain old CSS and so forth like that. Yeah, I just need feedback on this, see if it works, see what I need to change, and yeah. All right, so we've got the folder item. I probably won't need that anymore. But I'm having a think as I say that out aloud, because yeah, that is, all right, we still want flex for the folder list, because we want them to appear going down. Actually, no, we probably won't. It'll be like that. All right. Then we've got the folder item, which is this. So this will now be split into folder details, and div class equals folder delete. And then what I want to do is I want to import trash. Give me a couple of seconds. Let's actually find out icons. Yeah, we want something like that. I hate when that happens. All right. So we're just going to go trash in here. Like Like so, I might get rid of the, no, I'll probably keep them in there for a little bit longer. So the folder details, we'll just have the folder name there at the moment. That's going to be really easy to sort of set up. So we'll have 2 paragraph text. So we'll have something like that. And then what we'll have, p class equals subtext. We'll figure out the class name later. Do something like that. Now the folder item, I'm just going to have a quick look at what destruction I have done here. I've done a lot, so I'll need to, for the folder item, actually change a few things. So the height and the width are gone. As you see, it gets spec out like this now. That's perfectly fine. I'm not too worried about that. Because we're going to change it from this to grid. We're getting rid of that. Border style. Ooh. Just having a quick look at box styles. I'm just going to go with that sort of box style at the moment. We're going to get rid of the border. The padding we still do want. Border style ain't coming through. All right, I'm just going to get rid of the border style completely. All right, I've got that. Now, what we want is grid template columns. Now that icon, let's start off with 2 rem. We're going to call this icon. And then we're going to call this the, what have we called it up here? Details. And that's going to be min max 0 to 1 fr. And then we have, this is delete. And that's going to be, I'm going to say 1 rem for the moment. Once again, we'll tweak all of these. So we'll have the folder icon is like that. All right, cool. I'm going to keep that as a flex for the moment. We're happy with that. What I do need to do is I need grid column is going to be icon. Actually, it's not in that. It's going to be icon like that. We've got the folder name. That's actually now going to be the folder details. The height, I'm just going to ignore the height. I should font size, weight, we're fine with all of that at the moment. Once again, we can tweak this. So we've got the grid column. We don't want icon, we actually want details for this. And then for the lucky last one is folder delete. I'm just going to go grid column delete like so. Now the other thing I want to actually do is with the folder icon, we've got the width being really large and the height being really large. We're just going to remove those. With this particular one, the SVG, what we want it even smaller. So I want it to be flex 1. We want the width to be 0.25 rem. Height is going to be the same. Stroke width is going to be 1 pixel. We're going to have a quick look. So this is what it'll look like at the moment. As you can tell, there's a teeny tiny little icon in there. We're going to give it some more space. All right, well, that's perfectly fine. We're just going to do that. We've got the grid column delete. We did say 1 rem up there. So I'm actually going to make this one REM, and we're just going to go over here. Now I'm going to double check my stream. I don't think you guys can see that, so I'm just going to go onto the iPhone 11. Now this looks terrible. We're going to, once again, we're going to fix all of this up. So straight off the bat, we want to shrink this text here. We want to put this so it all fits snugly. All right, so straight off the bat, I want to do something like that. All right, cool, easy done. I'm happy with the size at the moment. I think 2 REM is really, really good. We do have some extra padding I want to get rid of off of the folder items. So I'm going to do that right now. So folder items, thank you, socks. We're going to get rid of that, boom. So that pushes that up to the edge. The next thing we want to do is, so we're happy with the folder icon. I'm just going to minimize this. We now need the folder details. So underneath there, you can see those P's have a lot of space and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to change that. We're just going to go everything under there with a P. Oh, I might. Oh yeah, no, I've got a plan. So font size straight away, we're going to go 0.75 REM. We're going to go padding. We're just going to go 0 REM. We're going to go 0 for the moment. We can add stuff on. And we've got the font family up here for the details. However, that being said, I kind of want to nick those and actually paste them under there, and then I can do something like that. So it's in the proper place. Now you'll notice that there is still, is that padding or margin at the top? I'm just going to go margin 0. All right, cool. We're just going to do that. So we've got margin 0 now. On mobile phone, I think that looks nice. The problem is if that file is too large, we'll need to sort of cut things off. For example, the name. Which, all right. So, oops, socks. Come on, sweetie. I've got hardly any desk space to work with. I'm going to go first, child. And what we want to do is, we're also going to go and last child. And you're wondering what that was. That's socks. She's like, what? I didn't do anything. Nope. My little thing off. Last child. We're actually going to go font weight. It's going to be 100. So if we have a look in here again, notice how the design specs sort of sits out now, and then you've got the uploader down here. I like that design. All right. Now the last thing we want to actually do. Oh, we're hit an ad break. Sorry, I think I've missed a couple of ad breaks. For those on YouTube wondering what's happening, we also stream on Twitch. They have ad breaks. We have to run ad breaks, otherwise everyone gets pre-rolled ads, and pre-rolled ads suck. So yeah, we just do this whilst everyone's got ads. I'm happy to answer any sort of questions and so forth. I've got about 25 seconds left. I think I've missed the first couple of ad breaks, and I do apologize for that. Yeah, hopefully everyone's night is going well. We are, yeah, getting there with the design. It's an iterative process. There's things that I work on, be like, all right, cool, that looks cool, and then I have a look at it again, and I'm like, oh, actually, no, I kind of want something else. Now, another thing that we've probably got to do is in this div, add some padding. So 0, 0, 0, and then probably 0.25 rem. Yeah, all right. So we need folder details. We need padding on the left and 0.25 rem. I'm just gonna hit refresh. So yeah, we've got that. That's looking a lot nicer. And then as it expands, I don't think I need to do much. Now, you'll notice here where we're getting really, really close and all that kind of stuff, it is cutting off some information and so forth like that. I'm just going to truncate it. I'm just going to go text overflow is going to be an ellipsis. Right, we're all happy with that. Overflow hidden, white space no wrap. So when we go over here, it just does something like that. And I think that's probably going to be the better solution. So yeah. All right. Where is it? There it is. So I think that looks nice. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm just gonna bump that off to the right. I still like it how it looks here. I am probably going to imply to the user that this is clickable, which it will be. So the user will be able to click on it and actually go into that folder and stuff like that. What we've got to do is with the, oh, I haven't done the delete. Oh no, I like the delete. I think that's perfectly sized. I do want to do color var. It's going to be danger. We will pick better colors and so forth like that eventually. So yeah, these are temporary. All right, and hover color var danger hover. These are done. So when someone actually hovers over it, it sort of indicates that, oh, this is actually something that you can pick. We're going to be doing that with the folder here too. So the SVG. So this is just color var. And this is going to be the document links, and then what we want to do, and hover var, color is var. It's going to be document links hover, and we're going to figure this color out now. So we're going to go into here. What we're going to do is we're just going to copy this and we're going to paste it in, and we're just going to write hover in. Now we've got a light in a dark mode. I haven't actually done the hover stuff in the dark mode yet. That's perfectly fine. What I want to do, yeah, I think that's good enough. So when someone comes over and they hover over it, it will do that. Now I notice that there is no fill. I don't know if I want to implement a fill. Oh, I'll tell you what, let's just do this. SVG, fill. It's gonna be, let's say hot pink. Tell you what, I'm going to say yes to the fill. We're going to test it out. All right, so we've got this, and then we'll go fill. We're just going to use the same color. Nothing too fancy. We're just going to refresh the page so we get rid of the thing I just did. I'm going to go down here and then boom. I think that sort of implies to the user that they can do something. And I should change the icon to the grab icon and all that kind of stuff, but we'll figure this out later on. I should also change this into an A tag. It'll be a P tag, but then there'll be an A tag underneath it. That's sort of best practice. Ref equals JavaScript void. Like that. That's fine. And that way we've got the design specs on there, and that way the user can click on it. We do need to handle some things with it, so we need to go A, and then we need text decoration is going to be none. I'm going to be happy with the color. That's just to stop people from clicking on it and it going purple. All right. Yeah, I kind of like that. Looks a lot neater, looks a lot nicer. Works better on mobile phone. I can then delete stuff from it. Yeah. And people can click on the folder to open it up. There's stuff there, or they can click on the name and it'll open it up. However, I probably won't make this clickable. Oh, that's a baby. Sorry, just hearing a baby scream. Now the other thing is, if there's a couple here. Which I purposely haven't put in at the moment. I need to differentiate them. That's what I was hoping this would do. So we've got the folder list, folder item. I mean, yeah, that works. But now I realize I need more padding in there. All right, I'm just going to get rid of that. Can you stop sitting on my mouse, please? All right, what? I'm going to think about that. I mean, I can copy and paste in another one right now and just do a couple of renames and stuff. Oh, hang on. We've got a folder list. So I can actually do that from up here. It'll be a lot easier. This will be document list render. We've got the folder list up here. What I want to do, I'm going to copy of those. We're just going to go over here. We're just going to change these. We've got design specs. User flow diagrams. We'll have What's another good thing that we can have? Testing, test cases, or user stories. And then we might have something like user stories. I'll just leave it like that. Actually, no, screw it. No, I want something in there. There you go. We'll have 4 items. Okay. Now, having a look at all of these, what I want to actually do is I want some spacing in between all of them. And that's pretty easy to do. So we just go into the folder list. We've got the folder item socks. No, not to do that. What we want to do is have margin. I'm just going to go 0, 0. I'm going to go 0.25 rem and 0. So that gives us a little bit of spacing, but not quite enough. So I'm just going to go 0.5. I think that's a... Sorry, I'm just trying to 25 and 125. So that will be 375. Sorry, it's been a really, really hot day today, so my brain's on half mode. It's finally cooled down, so you know I'm getting there. All right, I like that. The next thing I want to do is I want to remove these trash cans unless someone hovers over these items. So what I want to do is with the folder delete, we're not doing a display 0 or anything like that. We're just going to do an opacity. It's going to be 0. So yeah, they're still there, but they're just not there. However, when someone does a hover, so end hover, or actually no, this is going to be a hover over at the folder item itself. So we're going to go and hover at the folder item. So we're in there. And then what we want is dot folder delete SVG opacity. It's going to be a 1. There you go. So it'll pop up like that. And what I could do is I can add in a bit of transition. So I can make it pop up and disappear slowly. All right. Oh, and this is where I need to go to animation opacity 0 to 1 delay. We'll have a look at this. Keyframes, web keyframes. All right, cool. Actually, I'm gonna have 1 second. It still pops in. Oh, all right. Yeah, no, it's because of the keyframes. All right, I don't know where I should have put the keyframes. I think they just belong down there. No, all right. However, that being said, VueJS has transitions built into it. So it can actually handle a lot of this. So for example, that's kind of what we want. So we just need to put a transition around that, and then we just need that piece of code. It's going to be easier if we use the inbuilt stuff. All right, cool. I'm happy with that. So that just means we've got the transition. Oh, but that's if that's actually, sorry, that's if we're doing a VF. Yeah, as part of a toggle. And this will be pure CSS that we're doing. All right. Let's just do something simple. Oh, whoa, I just scrolled down a little, not that much. So we've got image wrapper, background, image fade, align top to opacity, transition opacity, all right, cool. Who knows if that works? Ah, that works. I think. Well, we're going to make it a long time. There we go. All right, cool. Long time works. I am definitely going to move that off. Whoops. However, I'm going to have it go off slower than come on quicker. So 1 second is a little too long to come on. Yeah, I like that. All right, cool. All right, and then yeah, when people hover over it, they'll be like, "Oh, cool, delete." I'm liking that. Okay. I'm just gonna get this. We're gonna line this up. We're just gonna hit. Of course, it does that weird thing where now I've got to redo that because there's a bug in this. Freaking click on that, thank you, and then I'm going to double click on all of that, and then yeah, all right, I'm happy with this. I've got to log in. All right, no, I'll do that later then. Okay. I'm liking how this is looking. Refactoring the document / folder layout, implementation of breadcrumbs, and also redesigning the folder. Alright, cool. There we go. We'll just push that up into source, npm run dev again. Okay, yeah, I kind of like that. I need to actually think how I want to get linked objects working. Okay. Yeah, that's one thing I've got to get working again is the linked objects. How I want it to look and so forth like that. So at the moment, I'm not too fussed about how it looks. There is definitely some improvement. Like I might add in this under there, being like add link, and then you click on it, and then all the links show below, but they'll be grouped up whether or not they're blocking or not. And yeah, there'll be links to other projects and so forth like that. Yeah, I haven't designed it. I need to also design the public links. Yeah, I just haven't designed that at all. And the sprint planning. Yeah, just haven't designed that at all. So, yeah, got to do a bunch of that. Yeah. Notes and comments, I kind of know how I want that done. We're moving away from Tiny Mouse for the comments and stuff like that, just because it should be simple. We're moving away from Tiny Mouse anyway. However, that being said, we're going to use VueJS. I'm just going to think about how to import all that. So, yeah. I mean, I can start the notes and comments tonight, but then I need to do the folders and stuff. Sorry, not the folders, I need to do the documentation. Document list. Alright. Document list is going to be very similar to the folder list. In fact, what we can actually do is we can copy some of this and just paste it in like this. Define props, that's going to be called document list. Easy done. That's going to be the document item interface instead of the folder interface. Easy done. With the icons, let's actually go and close all of these because I don't think we need them anymore. Lucille that, so we just need to put that in there. We need to put that in there. We're just going to go to icons itself. Do we have Word? No. No, we don't. File. Document. We do have document. Do have Excel. We don't have PowerPoint. Yeah, we don't have PowerPoint. But we do have presentation. All right, cool. Oh, we do have file chart. All right, cool. With the images, now the original idea was to copy what Braco were doing. We could potentially have little tiny images, but then as I was thinking about it, we then got to sort of deal with cropping those images to fit in here. Probably not ideal. So, but we've got plenty of image icons in here. All right, cool. What I'm going to do, we'll need the trash, because we'll need to delete the items themselves. We'll have image. And we could have file. No, I like that file image. All right, cool. We'll have file. We'll have. we'll have file text. PowerPoint was presentation. So we've got image, we've got file text, we've got presentation. All right. I'm happy with this. Oh, we need link to now the next thing I want to do, this is just going to be as a sort of template type of scenario. I'm just going to copy this. We're definitely going to edit all of this. Don't worry about any of that. We're also going to copy all of this. Once again, we're just going to edit all of this to actually have appropriate class names and stuff like that. But they're very similar components. However, they'll have their own different methods and stuff like that because they'll act differently. Very differently. They just look very similar. All right, so we've got our defined props. What we want to do, define computed. So we need to actually import computed from here. This will be document item. It'll be part of the document list. We won't have a folder ID, but we'll have a document key, which we're happy with. Oops, I keep hitting the wrong keys and all that kind of fun stuff. I'm just going to go to the interface very, very quickly. So we've got a type. We haven't defined the type at all. In reality, that should be an enum. I'm not going to worry about it at the moment. Because that's the thing I got to do at a later date. All right. In here, we define computed. We then go const define get logo, get icon equals computed. Hang on. Const get icon equals and we have reached an ad break. All right, cool. For those on YouTube wondering what's happening right now, I'm just running an ad break. On Twitch, we do tend to do this so no one misses out on any content. All right, yeah, that is, all right, cool. All right. And that will actually hopefully everyone's going well tonight. We've got about 33 seconds left of the ads. It shouldn't take too long. It's finally cooled down here. holy hell was it hot today. Got up to 41 degrees Celsius, which is C2F, 105 Fahrenheit. It was hot, let's just say that. Currently 24 or 75 Fahrenheit. So yeah, it's finally cooled down. And welcome back, everyone. All right, let's get back into it. Okay, cool. So what we've got here is we've got a component. We're going to say get the icon up here. We're going to have a switch statement. Oh, can we actually do that? Probably not. In which case, what I want to do is I'm going to have to change this into its own method. Oh, yeah. Oh. I'm just having a quick look at something. Reactive, blah, blah, blah. Equals computed. We're not passing anything through. Previous. All right. Yep. All right. Cool. In this sort of case, I'm not going to be using computed. I'm going to go function get icon. What we're going to pass through is the type, be part of a string, and then we're going to have a switch on the type, and then we're going to have case, and we're going to fill in all the cases up there, and yeah, that's going to be that pretty easy. So this component, and then let's say case. So up here we have, let's say it's an image. We'll have return image, and then we'll have a break, I think, and then we'll have a case, and then we'll have file. We're just going to return file. The real thing will be a little bit more complicated than this. We're just, once again, just doing this as vertical slice just to get this to work. I don't need a break. File, yep, cool, then case, file, text, just absolute, let's say document. This will be return file text, and then case, link. This will return a link. And then this will then be case, PowerPoint. This will return presentation, and then I don't think we need folder. And we're just going to have a default. It's going to return not trash, but file. And that's it. And that should hopefully be fine feeding into there. We need to actually feed this item.type. Yeah, cool. So it feeds it in, it gets the component, everyone's happy there. That way we can have icons change constantly depending on the file type itself. That will be the document icon. That will be the document details. We're very happy with all of that so far. And then this will be the document delete. And my music has just suddenly stopped. Huh. There we go. All right, cool. Oh, I need to go back to the interface. That will be the file name. Okay, cool. And I think I don't have the URL on there or anything like that, but it'll be fine for the moment. Once again, for here, we won't be, yeah. All right, cool. So my next thing is that'll be document list. There'll be a document item, document icon, document details, document delete, document delete. So that should work in pretty much the exact same way. And if we go up into here, what we can do is we can add in some document stuff right now. We'll have the document key be keep it simple at the moment. File name and type. I'm just going to copy that a couple of times. I'm just going to paste it like that. That's perfectly fine. We're just going to go over here. We haven't actually called this in here yet. We've got document list, and then what we need to do is go document list is done, and there it go. Boom. Okay. And then what I want to do is I'm just going to put this over here just so I can see the switch statement. So we've got image, and then we want document. How trip to Japan. Yeah, that will be text. And then hotel or hotel. Book this hotel. Oops, this should then have a docx at the end of it. This will be a link, and then PowerPoint presentation of socks. Okay. And that will be PowerPoint. Now I'm going to make this alphabetical order, just because it will make it actually appear in alphabetical order. And I'm hoping I'm not having any upload issues. It's, what's my frame? Oh no, drop frame, 0%. It just looks like Chillhopper is just struggling today. Oh well. Anyway, here's our what it will look like. As you can see, we've got a bunch of different icons. We still have the link up like that. We might change that in the future for this, so it's not such a harsher blue. It could be a lot lighter. I'm gonna say, yeah, let's make that a lot lighter. We can do that very, very easily by going into here. I still want it slightly enough blue so you notice it, but also at the same time the hover effect with the lines does not work, so I'm going to get rid of that. So that will be under, so that's breadcrumbs. Oops, sorry, my bad. That'll be under here. That will be part of put it over there. That's the delete. This will be the SVG. It'll be part of the color. Alright, and same with the folder list. Yeah, there it goes. So we keep the old color still there. So the outlines still stay. It's filled in. I think that's looking a lot better. It sort of indicates to the user that, hey, listen, you've hit this. You can click on this now. And then yeah, that image, the delete stuff fading in. I do like that. All right. I think that's pretty good. Git status, git adds. All right, git commit. All right, implementation of the document list. Okay. I like that. Simple, it's easy. Yeah, I like that. All right. Now I'm just wondering whether or not to move down onto notes and comments. I do kind of have a design for it. But at the same time, I haven't fleshed it out properly. Yeah. There are plenty of other stuff that I want to work on. So I'm happy with all of that. I also want to have a look at unit tests. So if we just go npm run, we'll see what we can run. Npm run and it's test, and we've got unit. Going to click on this lovely thing to make it go like that. So we do actually have a bunch of tests that we've started to build. I need to go through and find out what we're missing. The idea being with these tests is we could use them as a base line sort of stuff when we actually put a lot of this code over into NearBeach itself. Yeah, there's some things that I want to, that I've got to sort of plan, like mocking up certain values. So for example, if we unit test the document list, we should mock up the document list itself when we actually port this over. So that way we know what documents are being rendered and we can do all that tests. Same thing happens when we actually do the list itself directly. Yeah, so there's a bunch of things I've got to figure out. All of this should be unique to. But yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's simpler, easier. I mean, worst case scenario too, if people don't like the breadcrumbs and want the navigation put in here too, we can do that with this layout. And that's very easy to do. Sorry. If I go folder, I'm just looking to see if there's one that goes up. There isn't. Alright, I see it down. There is one that goes up. but sorry. Yeah, we'll probably do something like that to sort of indicate that you can go up and then have dot 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 there. Oops. I'll see what I won't implement it now. I'll see what people think about this and whether or not to do that. Yeah, you got the create. Yeah, I got to figure out what I want to do with these two, whether or not you can save them. Yeah, all right. Another thing that I've got to do some research on is Django and Vite. This guy's done something. I might download this. So yeah, we've got to set up Vite so that way when we do port this over into NearBeach, we can run the commands and it will handle everything for us. So yeah, and I'm just gonna quickly get that code. We're just gonna open up a new thing. We're just gonna go CD, we're just gonna go here, we're just gonna go get clone, and we're just gonna paste that in. There we go, it's there. Oh, hang on. We also want to, this is the Django Vite, isn't it? Yes, CD into the Django Vite that. We want Python 3 virtual env. We just want to go venv source venv bin activate and then pip install Django Vite. Oh wait, do they have the requirements here? No, they don't. Yeah. No, that should be fine. And then npm install. I'm just going to stand up. I'm sick and tired of sitting down all day. Oh. Right. All right. So we've got that set up for the moment. I'm tossing up whether or not to do unit testing. I mean, we've done a fair amount. I think, yeah, we've done the header. Nav, we haven't done the nav. All right. But there's some things in here. What would we test? Fetch nav items. Oh yeah, I've got to learn all of that too with the async stuff. Because yeah, that's one thing we would be mocking. However, I won't. Yeah. All right. We won't do this. We're going to learn how to set this stuff up. So, I'm gonna close that. We're gonna go over here. We've got the Django. I need to refresh this. We've got the Django Vite Tailwind startup. I'm just gonna go okay. We're gonna go this window. We're gonna trust this project. At the same time, we're also going to open up NearBeach. We're gonna go that in a new window. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our stuff here. We're going to make sure we've got the latest code that we've pushed, because I've done stuff. I'm going to minimize that. We're going to edit this in a minute. But first, we've got this Django, Vite, Tailwind, CSS starter. So it's using Django, Vite, Tailwind, Django, Vite, and React. Easy done. We're just going to hit the play button. We're going to go all the way over here. We're just going to go localhost 8000. Ooh. I'm just going to stop. Just going to go over here. I'm going to put them on 8080. And we're going to sorry, read what we're... we don't have the Django browser reload. So we need to pip install this. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a requirements.txt. What we need is Django, Django Vite, Django browser reload, and we're pretty much ready. We want Python 3 manage migrate. That's just the basic sort of migration. That's just the Django sort of stuff. We want to run the server now. That port is already in use with the 8080. I don't know what's using. Probably the Vite stuff or something. Something's using it. I've probably got Docker running. That's probably it. Yeah, I've got Postgres database using. Oops, sorry. I've got a Postgres database running. All right, cool. I should turn that off. All right. So here we go. This is just the basic sort of setup. And if we go into the React world, we've got this. Now, if I open up a console, I'm going to edit some stuff in here. Now, the idea is when we're doing this, we also go npm run dev and nocturnal. How are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Welcome back. How's your holidays been? I'm assuming you went somewhere fun and exciting. How's Pip and the cats? Alright, so we're in NearBeach, we're in this. They've decided to put everything in assets, I think. Oh, it is. Oh, they've got that. You doing okay? Oh, that's good to hear. I can't complain at the moment. Apart from it being 41 degrees Celsius today, it's luckily a lot cooler now. Got up to 33 in my office, and I was just sweating like there's no tomorrow. And that's assuming my thermometer was correct, which I don't think it is at the moment. Still saying it's almost 30, and it's not 30 in here at all. I should get myself a new thermometer. In fact, I do have a thermometer. Yeah. Didn't think about that. Alright, sorry. I'm just trying to find where they've got this. So function, command, editor, div, hello, load dash. Alright, so they're doing some funky stuff in here with the JSX and all that kind of stuff. So if I were to go type in and Twitch into there, we go over here. This isn't reloading, but if I do hit reload, it just works, which is great. Now the thing is, as a basic solution, what I really need is we've got our source file with all the JavaScript. And then we've got Vite. And then we'll have our static files on Django. What I need Vite to do is to grab this, do its thing, compile, and shove it into here at a minimum. This Django Vite is meant to help with a couple of things. So for example, we'll actually go to the documentation. So for example, Vite will put a random hash at the end of what it compiles and so forth like that. Now, what we could potentially do is get rid of that hash, but the idea of this is that we'll have, and if we go into our assets, there's our assets, there's our project, there's our script, there's our templates. I don't know where it's compiled this stuff. And L Gabster, how are you going? We are looking at Django Vite and determining whether or not we should implement it, or if we sort of work around our limitations. So yeah, we just did some, I forgot to actually compile the code and send it up onto, all right, give me 2 seconds, remove dist, npm run build. We just did a little bit more of the design for the vertical slice. So that's coming along really, really well. I am just uploading that right now. File manager, sites, root. All right, cool. Assets. Oops. Assets into here, and then index into there. So yeah, I've just done that right now, and then mock-up. Make sure we delete everything. That now should have, yeah, we've just done that design down there. So I'm just going to copy this, just in case you're interested. Oops, I didn't mean to close that. All right, so I've got to figure out how this works. I'm just going to open up this. So we've got an index, hello and low dash, and then we've got a hello. Let's say I make this lowercase and save it. That redoes that, but it did reload the that page. All right, cool. I might have been a little I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, it is at time. I've got to make sure the cats are in. They should be now. Give me 2 minutes. brought little Patty. I was here a year ago. How's the project managed? It's going good. It's going good. So we've wrapped up 0.31. So there's only a couple of really minor bugs to fix up with it. At the moment, we're upgrading it whenever we get a security report come through stating we need to update libraries, and we're refactoring for 0.32. So we're removing quite a lot of the technical debt and redesigning it at the same time. So yeah, the idea being is a lot of the front end calls will just go to the API now and all that kind of stuff. Max is doing great. So yeah, for those that don't know what exactly happened, Patty doesn't actually eat treats. As many treats as I've given. However, when Socks comes back in, I will give her treats. I don't know where she is at the moment. It's been really, really hot, so they're probably just, it's finally cooled down. They're probably just running around at the moment. They'll be back hopefully soon. So yeah, but here's Patty. Here he is. He got a little bit angry at me today because I was annoying him and he was too hot. So yeah. But yeah, Max. So I'll draw a diagram. Alright. Pretend this is my garden. Top view. There's a tree. There's a tree. There's a veggie patch put in between the tree. I over here had a bucket of water, but I put root solution in it. So if you don't know what's in root solution, mothballs. So full dominant case, yes. Yeah, yeah, he has that 1,000-yard stare. Poor little Patty has been through a lot. So yeah. So I'll put root solution in there, so that instantly becomes very poisonous. And then I'm over here watering the garden. Like this. And when I turn around, I see Max is drinking from the solution, and I'm like, oh god. So good news is, caught him straight away, called up the vet, they like take him down, we're going to vomit, make him vomit and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, the other day on his second blood test, they're like, everything's normal, nothing has changed, nothing has shifted. We're happy that we actually got to it in time. We don't know how much he ingested, though. Every little bit of document that I kept reading was like, it doesn't matter how much they have, take them to the vet straight away. Little fun thing to make him vomit, what they did, and I kind of kicking myself that I didn't get to watch this process because it would be really, really funny. They drugged him. They drugged him with anesthesia, but not enough to put him to sleep. So he was still wide awake. He was just very, very groggy. And then, this is my best picture of Max. All right, I can't draw, so bear with me. They spun him around. So there was some sort of contraption. They put him back in his cage and they're like, all right, we're going to have to spin him around with, hopefully he'll vomit because it's not guaranteed. So yeah, apparently they spun him around and he got very, very dizzy and then he threw up everywhere twice, which is good. And he did it straight away. So, poor little guy. But he's a lot better now. So yeah, expensive, but I'm glad I was there to see it actually happen. And it's the only chemical that I actually have which is very poisonous, and I only use it in special cases when my plant hasn't rooted properly. So, but Max is doing fine. Alright, so we were going on with this. I was going to test a couple other things. So we've got import tailwind, we've got this, we've got the hello, Yeah, this is meant to do all of that stuff, and then text center, text center, font bold. Let's change that to 800. Yep. And I'm just gonna go. Let's test NearBeach. Leave it like that. We go back over here, and without reloading the page, there you go. So we've got to get this working now in NearBeach itself. The idea of having it like this is it's meant to make it a lot easier to sorry, I'm trying to think of the word. It'll make it a lot easier to sort of develop and so forth like that. Now, I haven't actually finished with all my tests. I'm going to actually stop this. I'm going to go npm run build. So that should build what we need. We go back into this. We can see that the static files, we've got all of that. NearBeach has it a bit different. We don't actually put our static files there. We actually have an extra layer of static files. And then what I want to do is I want to just Python 3 manage collect static. Just cool npm. Sorry, and we're just going to go like this. Going to run the server again. I just want to see what is happening. So if I hit refresh, now nothing happens there because we're not importing the stuff. Not as quite as bad, but Pit makes scones the other day. I removed 2 layers of towels before eating parts of 3. Oh no, yes. Yeah, he's just come up and he started drinking from the bucket, and I've shooed him off very, very quickly. I've had to double check all the ingredients, and that's when I found the mothballs in there. He's come back for seconds. Luckily, I yelled at him then and he ran away. He was like, "Ah, I'm in trouble." But yeah, it was a nightmare. So yeah, do not recommend. I was so glad that the vet was very available at the time. Yeah, I was just like, holy hell. Okay, so one thing. Yeah, you should do that. Setting up the hot swap module, yeah, we're fine with all that. Yeah, we're fine with all the React stuff. Adding in Tailwind, yeah, we're fine with all of that. What's next? We're done with the tooling, however, this is the end of the guide. What comes next is the fun part. We can finally get coding. In part 4, we're going to use practical examples. We'll cover things like interactive APIs, passing information from the backend to the front end, creating reusable libraries, and more. All right, cool. So yeah, I've just got a test for. Let's put it in debug files. Allowed hosts. All right. There we go. Still a development server. Use production WSG or ASGI server instead. For I should eventually do that. But for this particular test, yeah, still not. Yeah, it's not sending us the client or anything like that. And that's my one general fear is if I do deploy this in with Docker, all right, cool. Give me a couple of seconds. Docker, Django, SGI example. Alright, cool. Yeah, from Python 3, code, that's all pretty much the same. And then run the development server. That's what we've actually got. However, we don't want this running in our development server anymore. We okay, we can use Unicorn. Okay. Web container to hands-on do all of that. Yeah, all right. I think we could potentially use the Django Vite. So I'm just scrolling up because I do know in here they go on about one particular file. Where the source JavaScript bundle is that. Base directory is static. So if dev mode, load from dev server, otherwise load from static. But then again, I would think that considering I've just put it out of dev mode into false. Static CSS style doesn't work. 404 not found. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, I've just got to solve these little tiny little problems. So what's next? Choose a framework. Passing data with APIs. Yeah, that's what we'll be doing. Up next, load JavaScript. Okay. If I do npm run build again, and I go source vm bin activate, and I go Python 3 manage collect static, we're going to override that. So we've got the NearBeach site Django static root. Yeah, we're overriding that. Base directory static root, so it should be there, and then we should see CSS and we should see styles in there. All right, cool. And one way to test that out is we can go to the admin. Oh, hello. That's not getting any of the admin. All right. What is the base directory in here? I'm just gonna do that very quickly. I'm going to stop this. I'm gonna go back into here. We're going to try and debug, but it just doesn't like it. I'm just gonna hit stop. I'm just gonna go edit config. I'm gonna have a look at what this is. We need sites. We need that one, yeah. Localhost, additional options. I'm just going to remove those. I'm just going to go apply. I'm going to go, all right. I'm just going to go play. Still playing? Oh, did I put a port? And config? No, I didn't. Let's do 8081. Okay, alright, cool. Stop. Now I'm seeing the console. Alright, cool. That's all working. We didn't actually hit this base directory, which I'm a bit annoyed about. So I'm just going to redo that. Got the console, and then what I want to do, base directory, that is not defined. So I'm going to step forward. I'm going to hover over this. It's NearBeach Tailwind Starter. All right, cool. So it is this directory, and then we've got static root. So if we go back down here, I'm just going to hit play. Okay. We do have static root, which is really annoying us. Right frickin' there. Static root. Static URL is that. Static files directory is static directory, but we've got the static root. So if we hit refresh, are we not running this on? Sorry, I need to hit play. All right, there we go. So I'm going to hit refresh. Yeah, we're still not, we're getting a 404 with our styles. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to debug true. Now we're getting it. That's really annoying now. Oh, hold on, I've mucked that up. false. Alright, I'm just going to do a simple print here. I'm just going to go static root, and I'm just going to do this as an F, and I'm just going to go static root in here like this. We could just paste that down there. It doesn't matter how far down it is. I'm just going to stop and rebuild everything. Static root, all of that. That does work. If I go ls and I type that in, we've got that. And then we've got the CSS in there. We've got the style CSS. All right, cool, cool, cool. Static CSS, style CSS. Not found. I'm just gonna this is meant to be like that. Who knows? All right, let's double check. Let's just stop. Let's just play again. All right, I'm just going to hit play. Static directory setting should not contain static root sect. Ah. Okay. Oh, I guess, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. And then the static URL, Right, let's just Google this. Django static root directory not working when debug. And I've been having more music issues. I'm just going to start at the very start with this again. I'm just going to view all tracks. Actually, let's just go right down to there. Stop serving the static files because it assumes dedicated web server like that will handle them more efficiently and secure production. You must follow the configure static root. Yeah, we've done that. Okay. Let's just do. We've got to import this, so we're just gonna. I mean, thank you. And I'm gonna shut my curtains. Alright, go to the base directory, and then what we want to do is we've got static root there. Alright. Cool. Collect the static. Yeah, we've done that. So even if I go back over here, we can just paste that in. Yes, it destroys them, and we're all happy. The other thing is configure a web server, set up the... No, but I want to... For local testing, debug false. You can use the insecure flag with the run server command. This is not for production, but it helps test deployment logically. All right. All right, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. React Hello World, there we are. We're happy with all of that. And that should also be very, very tiny. That's very, very tiny. Hello Bundle is pretty huge considering what's in it. Oh my god. All right. I didn't realize how big that was. It's not going to be a problem. All right. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of insecure. Let's run that and see if it does the same thing. No, it doesn't. All right. So we need the insecure command. I'm just got a random thought. Give me a couple of seconds. We have Ocean Suite in here. We've got the settings. We're just going to scroll down to the static stuff. Yeah, we use static URL. Just making sure that this still works. So it means we can get rid of that. We can hide that. We can then define that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go 0.31.100 and 4. I think we're up to 105 or whatever. I'll get rid of that. And then we'll run the server. Argument should be string or path light. All right. Doesn't like it, does it? Okay. Oops, I forgot about Twitch chat. Oh, ad break. Okay. Yeah, so I like the fact that it's constantly reloading the page and stuff like that. As for handling the static files, yeah, I got to figure this one out properly. Now I might be just having a problem with the static files locally, but I shouldn't be having a problem if we're using the CDN. Yeah. So I'm just having a quick think. There's also another issue that we've got where the Docker container doesn't send out the static files, but I think I've got a potential fix for that in the future, and I think that will fix this problem at the same time. So, oops, wrong one. So having a think of this, what we've got to do, I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to go, yes, we'll use Django Beat because it's going to make the development side of things so much easier to do. also at the same time, we can still handle the collecting of the static files. That will go up onto the CDN, but also collecting of the static files to actually end up in the code base itself. Yeah, alright. That will need to be a procedure change. So I'm just having a quick think. So currently at the moment, we've got an issue where our Docker just doesn't want to send out the static files. It's been like that for ages. The workaround is we just get everyone to use the CDN. Easy done. However, that being said, there's not too many people using NearBeach, so we're still well within the free range, free tier and stuff like that. However, moving forward, we kind of want to go, all right, we want to encourage people to use their own system. They can use their own CDN and so forth like that if they wanted to, and then we could potentially move our stuff over. Sorry, we can potentially just look at removing the CDN. Unless people want to actually have the CDN in place, but then we'll add the ability for people to add in their own CDN. Yeah, so I think I'm going to have to solve two birds with one stone here. I think I'm going to have to solve the fact that we need the Django environment to collect its own static and then deploy its own static, whilst also at the same time appending on a cache bust, so that users don't get served the old JavaScript and CSS and stuff like that. So if someone upgrades their version, we need a cache bust to be applied, but that should be easy to do. Yeah, all right. I've still got to worry about it. How we're handling things. I've also got to clear a lot of the old CDN files and stuff like that. It's getting huge. Yeah, all right. So I'm just thinking out aloud at the moment. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and implement this in the Django Vite. I am also going to look at how we can improve some of the Docker stuff. Yeah. Okay. All right, so what I want to do is go into here. We want to go down into requirements. We're just going to clean up some of these requirements. So we'll need the Django REST framework. We're actually getting rid of the 2auth. We need the Django one-time password. We still need simple. I think we still need pillow. We need to actually upgrade the lib3 and all that kind of stuff. That will actually happen tonight, very, very shortly. A lot of the Boto 3 and all that kind of stuff down there, that's all perfectly fine. We've got the Django REST Nox, which is what we want. We've got the spectacular. Django REST framework. Yep. No, we want that. The Azure Identity, Azure Blob. Yep, we all want all of that. So this will be part of the Django Vite. Yep, there we go. So we just got to install that. Now in here, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go cd. We're just going to go into NearBeach. We're going to go pip install requirements.txt. Easy done. I will need to install this in other places too. I need to actually go through the list of places where we're actually installing stuff. Because, yeah, the requirements.txt is for developers. However, that being said, I've also got Django somewhere else. I think, yeah, it's in the template toml. So we've got all the... We won't need that anymore. Still need those. And then we'll have in here the Django Vite. Like so. Make sure all that lines up. All right. So it has installed. I'm happy with that. We're just going to close a bunch of stuff. We can close that. Close that. Close that. We can close that. We can close that. I'm going to keep this one open. Stage 2, production stage, similar. Yeah, alright. I'm going to keep this one open just because I want to read how other people are doing stuff. We can close that. We can close that. And we can close that. Alright, so going with this one. Actually, it will be this one. So this is part of the single page applications. We've got the Vite sort of stuff going on. Actually, no, it'll be this one. All right, so going through, laying out the project, yeah, this is their project and so forth like that. What we want to do is install, yep, we've got installation of Vite already set up, connecting your Vite to this. So currently we've got load static, that's going to be changing. And we've got all of that. Note that, yep, we're fine with that. Static directories, yep, we're all fine with that. Music, come on, keep going. Oh, that one's broken too. Something down tonight. Don't know. All right. So how hot load? So yeah, it does something like that. And then, yeah, we need something like this in here. So if I close this, I'm going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up NearBeach. We're going to open up source. We're going to open, no, not source. We're going to open up NearBeach. I should also delete all the unit tests. Yeah, I should delete all of them. But not for the moment. that's the wrong tests I'm thinking of. But I should delete those tests too. Sorry, just deleting code. Test results, we're just gonna delete that. All right, delete, yeah. So I need NearBeach. So I'm just getting distracted by all the unit tests, function tests, set equals, hello. All right, cool. Oh yeah, we've got to delete that one. APIs, that's getting, yeah, we're going to delete all of these. Don't worry, a lot of these will come back. Yeah, I'm stripping out everything at the moment. What will actually happen is I will create the tests I require, and I can always just copy and paste from the old code if they already existed. So yeah, a lot of the tests are definitely getting deleted. So there's a lot of unit tests for NearBeach that are no longer going to be relevant because we're moving everything to the API. There's going to be a lot less backend classes we got to test, but a lot of API stuff we will be writing in and testing. All right, so what I want to do is I want to go into views, not views, sorry, templates, NearBeach, and we've got the application. So if we actually go over into this one over here, we just want to close that. We want to open up project we want to open up templates, and we got index, which is based off base. Notice how we got the Django V at the top. We're going to replace that like that. That's all good and dandy. And then down here we should have these two sort of lines. So we set this up saying, hey, this is what we want. That's where what we need to go goes. So we're just going to copy those two lines, and then we've got the CSS. So we've got the NearBeach application. So we've got the client, and then we've got the style sheet. And this will actually be NearBeach style. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of this. I think that's it for the moment. We can get rid of the body style stuff. Now that was, I'm definitely getting rid of that. That's fine. And we'll fix this up how we want to in the future. But yeah, all of that just will have a div ID. That's fine. This is all that the template is doing. We will eventually have block contents and stuff like that put into here, and then we'll have, this will be the master, and then we'll actually have either the login page and actually no, the login page will be something completely different because it'll actually have different JavaScript downloading, which is what we want. Unless we want to deal with the routing. Yeah, there's a lot of problems I got to solve at the moment. Sorry, I'm just getting distracted by my cube. So I've done that. Now they got the Vite assets after the body. Which makes sense. So that will actually belong there. That will be the NearBeach.main. I think it was just JavaScript, honestly. I don't think it'll be JSX for me. We can find out very, very quickly. Alright, so that will be... In case, okay, yep. In this example, it'll be index. All right. But yeah, that will be fine. That will be fine. All right. I'm just going to close that. So we've just done that. Just updated that. Now we also pass the source files index.javascript instead of a bit of reference index.bundler. This is because Vite asset tag handles results from the manifest.json. So as a final step, we'll need to actually run our Vite server. Let's add another npm command to the package. Yeah, that's Vite build and Vite. Yep. All right. Cool. We've already got those. Working with external JavaScript libraries using NPN, we're not going to bother. All right. Okay. Finally, let's start doing modern front-end stuff. Thus far, we haven't done anything useful. Just made a silly auto refresh hello world example. Just all right. The first thing we might want to do is use a JavaScript library. Let's try load dash in our index.js file. So load dash, create element div, inner join hello load dash element. All right, cool. All right, yep. Setting up React, and Tailwind. Hang on, I know I've missed something in here. So we installed that, yep. Tell you what, let's go to Django Vite. So here we are on here. Oops. All right, let's go installation Django. Do it. So install Django Vite. In the installed apps, we need to actually install this. So we want to go over into NearBeach itself. We want to go into, because this is our dev environment, we want to go into here. We just want to go down here. There's a reason why I'm not including those at the moment. We want to do something like that. All right, so that's installed in there. Following instructions on the Vite, mostly the SSR stuff. All right. So set the base options same as your static URL Django settings are. Okay, so in the Vite JavaScript file, so, or the Vite, not the Vite, that's the test. Ooh, we should be getting rid of Webpack from in here. Let's delete some more stuff. Let's get rid of that. We've got the Vite test. We also got package.json. What do I have in here? Dev, Webpack. Oh. Alright. Well, I tell you what. Give me 2 seconds. I'm hearing a meowing cat. Alright, cat is inside. Yeah, we're just going to delete those files. We don't care about them. We're going to recreate them in a couple of seconds. So, first thing we want to do is we're actually going to copy from the new. I'm going to put it in here. We're also going to copy from the new design. I'm going to copy all of that and also put it into here. Like so. Because it's almost the same. It's just that Django sits next to it. So, we need to install all of that. So npm install. So this does take a little while. It's also building the package lock file at the same time. Whilst it's going through that, in here it says base, we need the static. Oh, hang on. Alright, that's just a simple string. Then we need to build. So we need a manifest. Which is going to be manifest JSON. We need to specify the output directory and all that kind of fun stuff. I'm just going to copy and paste all of that in. Alright, I need to fix this up. We don't have resolve. I just need to import that. It's easy as that. Then we've got the inputs. So In this sort of case, it's the input unique key path to your asset. So, no, didn't realize how hungry I was. If we go back over here, we can have a look at the config. We've got the input, we've got the index, we've got the hello, and we've got the star. We're going to do very similar sort of thing. And then we have the output. Like this. So I'm just going to copy this. We're just going to delete that. I'm just going to paste that in. I'm going to format this a little bit better. We also had output directory. We're going to use the right thing. We're going to use path. We're going to import path. That's perfectly fine. Once that's all done, we're all happy with that. So we've got the directory name. Then we've got to go NearBeach static NearBeach. And I think we don't need to do that. Now, best practice always states that you should always have a folder in your static folder where everything sort of goes and stuff like that. Yeah, so I'm hoping this works. As for the source, now at the moment, if we go back to the mockup, open up our network tab, I'll bump this off to the left, we'll go network, we'll go reload. You'll notice that we've got a couple of files in there and stuff like that, and they're all from assets and then like the index and all that kind of stuff. If we go all files, we go all the way up, we've got the OK, we've also got the CSS and the fonts and all of that information there. Yeah. I'm just going to and there's socks. All right. And where have you been? Oh, she's not there. Oh, and we've got an ad break at the moment. All right, cool. Yeah, it's just trying to figure out the puzzle, how this all fits together. Once that's done, it should be fairly easy to sort of start development of it. If development can start and all that kind of stuff, it means I'll port over some stuff, so it's sitting there. But otherwise, it means I can start working on the login page, which I will probably need to do a little bit of research with what I want to do with that. I might also use different pictures this time. So for those that want to know, I've been using my own photography for NearBeach's login page. I still want to continue with that, but I'll probably do it with a different size, but also do stuff where if it's on mobile format, it'll actually get the smaller image. It won't get the larger images and so forth. That so that way, yeah, people. If you're on your mobile phone, you won't download so much. So that's the idea. I've also got to think about fonts too. Because I just realised that fonts are large. Fonts are really large. Anyway, welcome back everyone. So, I don't know why these are failing. You know, it should have downloaded most things, but it didn't. Alright, cool. npm audit fix, npm install, just make sure everything's installed. Alright, cool. Now that's the void config. This should be installing those. I don't know why they're not coming through. Oh, I'm just gonna. Yeah, don't worry about it. All right, not to worry. Oh, I've got to do these assets. So directory name, and then what we want is source. Oh, I haven't ported over any of the code. This is going to be delete. And then what I want to do is copy everything from the new mockup design source. Oh yeah, we've got to make sure it's with that. That would mean that that goes into here now. So then we've got a main, which we're following. So we've got source and then main.ts. And then that's actually going to be main. We won't have hello. But I'm also wondering at the same time, how am I doing the styles? Because if I go, yeah, all right. All right, so it will be source style and then main CSS, and we'll also have it called main. That's fine. All right. No, that's not going to like it. We're going to do that then. All right, cool. And that's what we want. We probably need to do another couple of things in here too. A good example would be copying the asset files and so forth like that. I'm not going to worry too much about that at the moment. But what I do want to do is I want to remove the static files for the moment. I did delete those, right? Delete. Yeah, all right, cool. All right, so what I want to do is I want to go npm run build. We don't have ts config. All right, so what I want to do is I want to copy ts configs into this file. All right, cool. Could not resolve source style.css. Roll up file, blah, 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 blah. All right, cool. So it couldn't resolve that. So I'm just going to go back into here and I am just going to comment that one line out just to see if it's just that line. No, it isn't. It can't resolve. So file, home, sites, NearBeach, node module. All right, cool. Sites, node modules. All right, cool. File, home, NearBeach, site, NearBeach, source, main TS. minimize that. We've got the source and the main TS right there. So it's saying it can't find that. Give me 2 seconds. Hang on. Let's open up that. I don't think that's the problem. I think that's the problem. Alright, cannot resolve source style. Alright, so what we're gonna do, we're just gonna kill it. No. Okay, error during build. Let's not panic yet. Because yeah, we know this is going to take us a little while to get all of this working. There it go. Yeah, once again, it's going to take us a little while to get this all configured and working. Once it is set up, it's hopefully going to be pretty easy to move forward with it. Now, all right, that is that guide. All right. Yeah, definitely. All right. Okay, cool. So. Source router, line to property env does not exist on type import meta. So history, create web history. All right, let's have a look. No imports were found for this conf file. Okay, let's also have a look at that. So import meta. Okay, they're right. Now, I don't know why that works in the other version. So we're just going to Google this very, very quickly. Because it could be just we're missing something. Vite invaded. It's also another thing. So if we go into here and we just do this, we should have copied those two over. We should have copied all the TS. Yeah. We should. Should copy those over. We copied over the package logs. Should copy that over. There we go. So, it was this file that we needed to copy over. The other ones that I copied over, that was the linting. I should copy over the playwright stuff too. So, copy that over, end to end. We should. Easy. So we've copied end-to-end env ESLint config. We'll probably need to copy that over to. Done. Git ignore and stuff we don't need to worry about just yet. In fact, cat the new design dot git ignore. We might actually copy some of that over. That's perfectly fine. The package log and stuff we copied over before. The playwright stuff we copied over. The public we ignored. The readme we ignored. The source we ignored, and all of this stuff we copied over. All right, so that should create the basis for NearBeach now. So if we go npm run build, we should have everything build, and it should go into NearBeach static NearBeach perfectly. All right, cool. And then what we've got to do is we're just got to point everything over here. But what if I go npm run dev, and then with this one over here we're going to deactivate. Cool. We're just going to go into the NearBeach sort of stuff. We're going to go, oh yeah, cd, and then we need to go source vm bin activate, and then we need to go python3 manage, and then run server. Pip install read from the requirements.txt files. Easy done. It quickly does that. Python3 manage or run server. We're all happy with all of that. We're just going to go over here. We're just going to go localhost 8000. Cannot find NearBeach style CSS for app equals default invite manifest. All right. So static. This is definitely config problems. So I cannot find NearBeach style CSS at default alert. I think it can't get to the manifest. Hey Socks, what are you doing? She's like, I'm all right, let's have a look. So we've got NearBeach, we've got static, and yeah, it goes NearBeach and then manifest in there. So what I kind of want to do then is in the Vite config, we've just got manifest. I'm just going to go NearBeach / manifest. I'm just going to restart the server. We're just going to restart that. Because as you can see here, this file is wrong. We've got NearBeach static manifest, and that's wrong. And we've got the base directory as static. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove a couple of things. We're just doing something simple. Server just restarted. I know, Socks. I know. I really. Aw, sweetie. Yes, I know. Oh, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Careful. Say hi to everyone. Yeah, alright, I'm in bed. I've clearly mucked up something here. And I want the output path to be in there, because that's where all the static files go. But what if I just do something like that? What is the output file on here? It's just that, but I don't want it. I don't want the static files up here for obvious reasons. Why? That also being said, in the settings, if I scroll all the way down to where we're actually handling all this, so the root should be the base directory and then the static. And if I go refresh, let's just properly refresh. Let's do it like this and then do something like that, and yay. Here's a problem. Cannot read a Vite manifest for the app. A default at Science NearBeach static manifest. No such directory. I probably haven't set this all up correctly just yet. So what I want to do, that's the rollout sort of stuff. At the beginning of your app entry, the Vite preload polyfill. Nah. All right, we need to copy this. This needs to be at the bottom of the settings. So that's one thing I'm probably messing up. All right. Now I'm just going to do that and then that. We're no longer having that issue. All right, let's go over here. Let's go up here. Let's hit refresh. All right, we've got a different thing happening now. Yay! We're not loading our styles though. So in the styles, you can see it goes static NearBeach styles.css. That's kind of what we want. We want the NearBeach styles, and that's just because if someone hooks in NearBeach with other things and so forth like that, we won't have the problem of conflicting static files. However, that being said, we are going to be moving away from allowing people to sort of connect NearBeach up with their own sort of stuff, and the reason being is it's just going to add on a layer of complication. And we don't yet pay that much. And all that complication. Alright. So we've got a 4 of 4 for both the style, CSS, and the main JavaScript. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over into the Vite config. I'm going to undo some of that, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to reset everything. And then I'm just going to reload. Still doesn't download everything, but we did get the client happening. The CSS yeah. Oh, it's using a different. Oh, all right. Okay. I'm going to call it there tonight. It is past 10 o'clock. I've been streaming quite a bit. I think I've gotten to a good sort of spot. From here, what I want to do is I want to get this all connected up, and I just think it's just me reading the documentation. I'm just having a moment where I haven't read anything correctly. So once I get that done, I think once these two files are imported. I believe I'm just on the home run. I'm just quickly having a look at the documentation. So we've got that. No, we prefer that. I get the static files directory. Hang on. Oh, is that going to be it? That's just going to be it, isn't it? So it won't be assets, it will be NearBeach, static, yeah, it'll be NearBeach static, and that NearBeach. If I stop that, run that. Oh yeah, what's base directory again? Alright. Give me a couple of seconds. Sorry, I'm just want to make sure it isn't something as silly as this. So that will be joining that up. We'll need to join the folder NearBeach. It'll be then static. And then it'll be NearBeach again, like so, and I'm not sure I need a, no, I don't need anything like that. Then I should be able to run that. I should be able to go over here. I should be able to go here. Not that one, sorry. I should be able to go here and reload this. Nah, it wasn't. All right, not a problem. I just need to find out what the thing is. Sorry, socks, but I need to start this raid process. All right. Yeah, I'll figure it out. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here tonight. It has been wonderful. We got a bit done. Yeah, we did the documentation stuff. We've got to get this working. Once this is working, that just means I can start moving on to other things, getting the login screen working how I want it to, start implementing the API. A lot of the implementation around the API is done, so I'm happy with that. Sorry, not implementation around the, sorry, a lot of the models restructure is done. Then the next big thing is just redoing all the API calls, and yeah, just simplifying the code. That's it from this point on. So yeah, all right, let's raid on to the Grumpy Dev. All right, here they are. Are they grumpy? I don't know if they're grumpy. Yeah, all right, thank you, everyone. And for those on YouTube, sorry you won't be able to follow us with the raid, but thank you very much. And don't forget to like and subscribe, it helps the channel. So yeah, thank you.